Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel and my TT120 build series, Westbourne. In this video, episode 7, I'll be taking a look at street detailing and in particular creating realistic tarmac. Now, tarmacking seems to be a modelling skill that eludes a lot of us. I've played around with several techniques over the years and I've finally got one that I feel comfortable with and suits my skill level. However, I came across a new paint from Tamiya which really has transformed the ability to make realistic road surfaces, and I'm going to show you that in this video. The process of creating tarmac will be made simpler than ever before using a couple of household items and the Tamiya texture paint, and it really will transform your approach to adding roads to your layout. As always, if you enjoy what you see, please hit those like, share and subscribe icons, and don't forget to check out my Dean Park Model Railway channel where I've got an extensive array of videos including layout build, model reviews and exclusive content from manufacturers. In the meantime, enjoy the video. At the front corner of the layout we've got this flat area here, and this is going to be a caravan park or part of a caravan park. We've got some static caravans that we're going to put in here. There are going to be areas where the caravans sit that I've got a kind of rectangle of tarmac or concrete, and then they'll be surrounded by some scenic material. However, I need to get the tarmac paint down first, and for that I'm using Tamiya Pavement Effect texture paint, and I've got dark grey and I've got light grey, and I'm using a mixture of both to give a kind of tarmac appearance which isn't uniform in colour. Now, I'm not too sure how well the camera is picking this up, but you can hopefully see a textured kind of finish to this. It's a very thick paste. It's not as I expected. For example, I can hold the bottle upside down and nothing comes out, so it's quite a dense paste, and it really is quite an easy medium to use. I just painted it over first of all in a light grey with a touch of dark mixed in. I just mix it up in a saucer, and then I kind of painted it on, and then I used a sponge just to dabble it to give it a less brushed appearance and give the kind of texture paint a chance to do its thing. What I'm going to do in the next few clips is I'm going to build that up with different tones of the grey, again mixing the dark and the light to different kind of percentages to give the area the effect that I want. Bearing in mind there'll only be really 3 rectangles of concrete showing, but because I don't really know where they are exactly just now, I thought I may as well just coat the whole area and it gives me options further down the line. So I'm always kind of planning ahead. That's the kind of footprint of one of the caravans. With its decking, and I'll have one kind of positioned here, one there, and then kind of one there, so they're kind of in a fan arrangement pointing to the railway, and obviously it'll all be fenced off and there'll be scenic material either side to blend it all in. For this process I've just put some of the light and the dark grey on a saucer. A test of how thick that paint is: just after the previous clip I dropped the paint on the floor with no lid on, and only a little bit kind of came out the end and flew across the room, but it is so thick and pasty it's not going to run anywhere. So before I do that again, I think I'll just put the lid on this paint and get down to actually doing the tarmac. Right, what I've got is I've got the scouring pad. I've just chopped it in half, and I'm going to use the foam side, not the kind of scoury. I suppose you could do that actually. I might try and see what that effect gives us. It's all about playing around with the effects to see what you like and what works for you. Obviously in TT, the texture is going to have to be quite subtle, because you don't want it too rough, because then it obviously look like a kind of gravel road, whereas in double O you might get away with doing that. So again, gauge is important to trying to kind of alter the effect that you're going for. I've mixed the paint up there. I've made sure that I've kind of got a darker shade than the one I've already done, and I apologise for the shadows here. I've got light coming in from all directions, but it's a slightly darker grey than it is on the baseboard already. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll get that brush out of the way, and I'll take my kind of scouring pad sponge, and I'm just going to load it up a little bit with some paint, and then I'm going to dab a lot of the excess off so I don't get some irregular blobs on the actual surface. And then it's a case of just going in and then just dabbing it around to try and work up the colour and the shade that you want. And this will take a while, and the results are not immediately obvious. So I'm just going to continue with this. I'm also going to use these kind of bung sponges where I've got a scouring pad and I've put a rubber band in. That gives a curved surface, so you don't get any of the sharp edge that you might do using one of these scouring pads, because you don't want any kind of rectangulars getting dabbed all over the place. I'm now going to go in with a slightly lighter shade, again just varying it a little bit from the previous layer. The first layer is not kind of dry yet, but I'm just going to test it on a bit of scrap area there and just then start lightly dabbing it in. And because the paint underneath is still wet, it will blend a little bit as well, so it will not look too blotchy. But remember, tarmac can be loads of different colours, depending on how old it is, the kind of use it gets, the heavy traffic, or just from environmental kind of staining and weathering. If you're not happy with any particular colour, you just again mix up, do a little bit of alteration, test it there, and then just again try and vary it. I'm just bouncing it off very lightly, or sometimes I might want a little bit more paint down and I just press a little bit harder with the sponge. Okay, a few minutes later I've now dabbed in various shades of the grey and I'm just going to let that dry. Hopefully you can see some variation there in the actual tones of grey, which is what I want. Bearing in mind only 3 small rectangles of this whole area will be seen, so I'm not going to get myself too het up and stressed about the actual look of the overall area, because it's going to be blended in, plus the Caravan is going to be sitting on about, I don't know, 3/4 of the actual tarmac area itself. But I'm quite happy with the effect that I've achieved there. I've done a similar kind of effect with the car park at the depot, which you'll see in later clips. And I'm going to maybe use the same technique for the main street and road area on the layout. The tarmacking technique at the Caravan park really has worked out pretty well. It's given a nice flat base on which the caravans can sit on, and as I mentioned way back at the beginning, there was very little you're going to see when the scene was completed and all the caravans were in place, but what you do see does stand out and adds a nice contrast to the more natural surroundings of the grass and bushes. I used the same tarmacking process on the street that I did at the Caravan park, albeit with a slightly different shade of grey. I used more of a darker tone for the road surface as opposed to a lighter tone at the caravans. You'll also notice I've used some patching techniques here to replicate bits of repaired road. I did consider adding some potholes along the street, however at TT120 I thought that they'd be too small, and if you made them noticeable, they'd be like massive craters on the street, so I decided to leave it and just use the patching technique. To achieve this technique, I just cut out a small mask from card, placed it on the road surface, used the sponge with some different tones of grey, and sponged it around the template before lifting that to reveal this patching technique. And it really is quite effective and breaks up the colour of the tarmac. At some point in the future, I'll be going in with some airbrushing techniques to tone the tarmac down and put some weathering lines to replicate the traffic lines that the tyres leave from the cars. The masking process for the white lines was quite extensive. I started off with a single piece of 1mm Tamiya masking tape and placed it right along the middle of the road. I then placed two wider pieces of masking tape either side of that before removing the 1mm piece to reveal a thin strip along the centre of the road. I then masked it up into the individual parts before then taking Tamiya white, flat white from an airbrush and spray painting along the middle before taking the masking tape off to reveal these crisp white lines. Now these are sized prototypically for TT120. Obviously if you were doing a 00 gauge or O gauge or even N, you'd have to do the research and size down the lines accordingly. The masking for the whole part of the street scene took about a couple of hours, and the painting itself through the airbrush only took about 20 minutes. But it's all in the preparation, isn't it? If you prepare properly and take your time, you've got more chance of having success at the end of it. And that's the kind of ethos I employ with the whole of my kind of modelling from Dean Park to here at Westbourne. If I prepare, then I've got more chance of having a decent result. In a future episode, I'll really dig deeper into the detail that I've added along the street. However, I was asked a question from a previous episode regarding my pavements. These pavements were designed and laser cut by me. I then painted them in a weathered concrete before giving them a couple of grey washes just to bring out the lines in between the slabs. And this is made from 1.5mm MDF, which is actually scale height for a pavement in the UK at TT120. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching the creation of realistic tarmac using these Tamiya textured paints. I really would recommend you give them a go. They're easy to use and have good results. Join me for episode 8 on Thursday the 26th of March at 7 PM, where I'll look at lighting and signalling the layout, as well as continuing some scenic details on the hill and at the pub area. I'll also take a look at these pre-finished 3D printed drivers from Model U. In the meantime, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.